A New York police officer was convicted on Tuesday in a bizarre plot to kidnap, torture, kill, and eat women, ending a trial whose outcome hinged on a delicate distinction between fantasy and reality. The trial had drawn widespread attention, in part because it was involved in an officer's disturbing behavior, but also because it raised a fundamental question: when does a viral crime contemplated in internet chat rooms become an actual crime? There was no evidence that any of the women whom the officer Gilberto Valle was accused of plotting to kill were harmed. But prosecutors argued that the officer took actual steps to further his plot, like conducting surveillance on potential victims. Mr. Valle, 28, could receive life in prison for one count of kidnapping conspiracy when he is sentenced on June 19th. The police department fired him upon conviction. His lawyer, Julia El Gato, called the verdict devastating and said the government had not proved its case. These are thoughts, very ugly thoughts, but we don't prosecute people for their thoughts, and will continue to appeal and continue to fight for Mr. Valle. The trial highlighted some of the darkest corners of the internet, where fetishists hide behind web identities like Girl Meat Hunter, the name that Mr. Valle used, and engage in role-playing fantasy about cannibalism and sexual torture. At the crux of the case was whether prosecutors could prove that Mr. Valle, who is married and has a baby girl, was not simply role-playing, as so many of his like-minded internet peers apparently were, but laying the groundwork for actually kidnapping, torturing, and killing the women that he had singled out. The prosecutors, Randall W. Jackson and Hedessa Waxman, built their case around the chats and other online messages that Mr. Valle had exchanged with 3 co-conspirators and what prosecutors said were other concrete steps that he had taken to bring his plan to fruition. The United States Attorney in Manhattan, Preet Bharara, said that the jury unanimously found that Mr. Valle's detailed and specific plans to abduct women for the purpose of committing grotesque crimes were very real. The verdict came on the 12th day of Mr. Valle's trial in federal district court, where he was also convicted of illegally gaining access to a law enforcement database that prosecutors said he used to conduct research on potential victims. He faces up to 1 year in prison on that count. This is Taylor Clem with 870 Daily. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.